Hi besties. I know, you are going through it right now. You're going through it because I'm going through it and everyone's going through it right now. So I figured, let me give you a step-by-step guide on how to get out of a low point in your life, how to get out of a rut, how to pick yourself back up, how to essentially move through something that might be very challenging in your life right now. And listen, as I am filming this, Mercury is, in fact, in the microwave, so we can essentially blame it for the most part on the cosmos, but there are obviously things probably in your life, same thing with me, that have elicited a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of emotions, a lot of confusion, a lot of disappointment. Whatever it is, it's created these emotions to the point where now you're feeling either lost, you're feeling upset. Now you feel like you're in this low point in life right now. Maybe things are not as happy as they once were, things aren't exciting in life, feeling really down, maybe you're not on your routine. Whatever you're going through, we can get through this. We can get through this. I have been through things like this before. It is going to be fine. So you guys know when I have this little headband on my head, it's because I am laying down, or I am basically gluing down my hair with gel right now. So please don't mind that. I'm going to get ready because I have somewhere to go after this, but I figured let's talk bestie. All right, so as I'm getting ready, which I'm going to be looking in this mirror, so if you're wondering where I'm staring and why, it's my mirror, and I want to make sure that it's not in the frame so it doesn't get defocused. Sometimes when we feel really low in our lives, it's like we can't escape this lowness, and we're wondering and we're waiting for it to change. We're waiting for something to happen to save us, but the truth is, the only person that's going to save you is you, my friend. Don't worry, I will help you. I will absolutely help you. So step one, when it comes to picking yourself back up after a low point, a thing that you are going through, is to honestly, full-heartedly acknowledge the fact that you are in a low point in your life right now. And listen, I know that you know that. I know that you're very aware of that, but I feel like when we're feeling like crap about something that has happened in our lives, we're feeling sad, we're feeling disappointed, whatever it is, we kind of jump to trying to figure out how it is to get out of this feeling, or wanting something to save us out of this feeling. And I think that that is the reason why it makes this feeling of sadness or loneliness or whatever that we're going through even worse, because we are trying so desperately to run away from this. And I don't want you to stay in this low state, but I do think it helps when you're going through something, a challenging time, or you made a very big decision and it's creating a lot of emotions within you. You allow yourself to emotionally release. You allow your emotions out. You allow yourself to be like, fuck yeah, I'm feeling it right now. I'm going through this time. It hurts. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. Like, whatever, I'm sad, I'm missing somebody, I'm, disappointed, whatever it is, allow yourself to feel. Now, something that I like to do is emotionally release. So when I feel like something in my life is just like, maybe there's an ending of something, or I've been disappointed, or something's just not been working out in my favor, instead of me resisting the situation at hand, I like to go into my journal and write out all of my emotions, all of my feelings, all of my thoughts that I feel about this situation. How sad I am, how disappointed I am, how incredibly mad I am because these things didn't work out, or how frustrated I am because I don't know the answers, or I feel very lost within my life. Letting it all out is so incredibly important before you try and even pick yourself back up. I have tried to pick myself up so many times in my life by, thinking positively and just, going to see my friends and getting back on track of things, or, like forgetting about the thing that made me really upset without doing this. And without fail, I will get like 3 days into picking myself up and feeling amazing. And then what I do is I completely break down after a few days because I didn't even allow those emotions to come out in the first place. I think especially for the ones who are always kind of on this self-improvement journey, which is probably you, and it's me, and it's always been me in my life. And honestly, someone who's also just been in survival mode, and that might be you too. We are very much so ones who want to find an answer to fix a problem. We are very like solution oriented. Something's going on, let's fix it, let's do it now, let's get out of pain. We're very much so on this mission to get out of pain, which is, it's great. It's a great thing that we have within us, but sometimes the pain will actually lessen a lot more when we actually release our emotions. And for me, I used to live in my masculine energy a lot of the times. And what I mean by that is I never allowed myself to cry. I never allowed myself to just be okay with the fact that yes, I I'm lost right now. I'm lost. I'm sad. I thought that I knew the answer, but I didn't. I made the wrong decision. Whatever it is, just allowing, the art of allowing yourself to be you. I feel like society also makes it kind of difficult for us to just be ourselves, right? And then, we're too afraid to be ourselves. And when I mean ourselves, I mean let our emotions out and cry and do all these things. So I think it's really important to start to cultivate a practice of emotionally releasing, letting out what it is that you feel. And I think that sometimes people shy away from this because they're like, oh, no, like I want to prevent and I want to be positive and I don't want to sit with my negative emotions because then I'm going to spiral into the negative emotion pool, let's say. That's why a lot of people also struggle with that because they don't even know how to handle the emotions that will come up. Now, obviously, if you can't handle things, maybe it's time to go to therapy. But a lot of the times when people usually do this, and when I did this for the first time, I realized, whoa, negative emotions are not something to actually be afraid of. And realistically, they tell me a lot about what I was accepting or what I wasn't accepting or how I wasn't being truthful to myself or to others or how I was missing the mark with things, but I wasn't able to even see that because I wasn't listening to my emotional guidance system. And when you tap into your emotional guidance system by releasing emotions, you start to see the reasons why, why you're so triggered right now. Well, I'm feeling anger. Why am I feeling anger? I'm feeling anger because I keep getting disappointed the way that I used to get disappointed in my childhood. Or, I'm really afraid right now because I've always been afraid in my life and I don't trust anything and I don't have the answers and I need that guidance. And then maybe you can find the guidance because, you realize you are scared and you might need help. But if you don't allow these emotions to come out, you almost will not actually know how to properly take action to help self-correct when you get to a point where you're kind of out of this emotional turmoil in a way. Bestie. After you have done your emotional release practices, don't know why I'm doing this, I'm this TikTok person. First of all, you might have to do this multiple times, okay? So when you start to feel like you're getting triggered a lot, depending, you're thinking a lot about a situation that's really causing you a lot of emotional stress and you're fighting it, let it out. I don't care if you have to do it morning, noon, night, however many times you need to do this until you really can feel good, you can feel this emotional release again. Now, emotionally releasing is not gonna fix the problem. It's not gonna fix the story that's going on in your head that you're perceiving about the thing. It's not going to, make everything magical again. There's gonna be other steps that you're going to need to take. So the next step that you're going to need to take when you release your emotions about these things and you let yourself feel is to find the lesson that is within whatever is going on in your life right now. I promise you with all of my heart, even if you cannot find it fully yet, there is a lesson, there is a reason why this thing is happening in your life, okay? So it might take you a little bit to figure this out, but I want you to sit down for a moment after you've really let your emotions out. Explore those emotions. Why am I so angry about this thing? Why am I so disappointed? What did I get disappointed about? How am I making meaning out of this situation? Let's take this in context of relationships because I always do that with examples. If you're really distraught about somebody who's not showing up in your life or they've walked away from you or you're going through a breakup, let's say, a lot of the times when we feel really sad and alone, there's many reasons why we might feel that. Of course, naturally, when somebody's not in our lives anymore, we're gonna feel like that. But a lot of the times we're feeling very alone and so sad because there's a belief within us that we're not gonna get what we want, or we're gonna be lonely forever, or we're not good enough, or we're not deserving of love, or maybe you're just tired and you don't wanna do relationships anymore because it's going to require effort from you, or it's gonna require you to stop playing small in relationships because realistically, the relationship that you were in, you were playing small. There is going to be something within this situation that you can take from it as wisdom, as a lesson, as something that you can now use to set a higher standard for yourself, for you to now allow yourself to navigate the world a little bit better than the way you used to. This is not about bagging on yourself. This is not about getting mad at yourself for whatever happened. This is not even really to blame yourself, but I will say when we are low, when the things happen in our lives, especially when it comes to relational things, but even job opportunities or just feeling lost in life, there's always going to be a part of us that have played some sort of role in it. And it's not necessarily like we knew that we were playing a role. It's not that we had intentions of playing this role. A lot of the times, let's say, bringing it back to relationships, Maybe you're a people pleaser, right? And you're a people pleaser because you're trying to stay safe. You're trying to not rock the boat. You're trying to have people love you because that's really all you want. That's not a bad intention, but it's still to look at it and be like, I played that role. I was a people pleaser in a relationship, allowed this relationship to be what it was, which was half-ass, which was bare minimum, because this person was only showing up and only treating me the way that I taught them to treat me, which was, I don't need anything, I'm good, everything's about you, right? So thinking about the situation that you're in, what lesson can you learn from this situation? By the way, I was putting on Ilia foundation. I love this foundation. When I do wear it, it feels like I'm not wearing anything. So just a little recommendation. I do have all of my makeup links and all of my links to everything that I can possibly find on my Like to Know It in my description. I'm also using Winky Lux Rose, I think it's called Rose. No, Cheeky Rose blush, cream blush. So the next very big part of you picking yourself up out of a low point and getting through something very hard is to self-soothe, because this is the thing. Okay, so when you've emotionally released and you've kind of learned this lesson about whatever it is you're going through, it's not black and white. You're gonna go through maybe a few days, depending on the situation, depending on your response, your nervous system response. It might be days, weeks, months that you're kind of going through this situation, which is totally fine. We don't need to put timelines on healing or anything like that. But it's to know that you're gonna need to start to create not only an environment, but pick up different techniques that are going to soothe you throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. And I think you understand this when you go through a breakup, when you go through something that's challenging, when you go through a hard time, when you feel lost. There's so many thoughts and there's so many behaviors that you end up doing all throughout the day, all throughout the week that just continue to just trigger you, right? And what we want to do is get out of this triggered state of feeling like we're low. We don't want to continue to be in this energy of the rejected state, or I'm low state, or I'm lost state. This is not to ignore the state that you are currently in, but it's like, what can I do? How can I create an environment in which will stop eliciting so much of this low emotional state that I've been riding in? Because honestly, if you want to get out of something and you want the other side of what you're going through right now, then you're gonna need to stop being in the reality of I'm in this low point, or I'm rejected, or I'm going through this thing right now. So the first thing that I like to do is to tell myself a new story about the situation that is occurring. Now, this is helpful when you have thought about the lesson that you are learning from this thing. So let's say you're going through a breakup. Okay, well, if you learned that the lesson that you're learning in this breakup is you were a people pleaser, and that contributed to a lot of the reasons why there was a breakdown in this relationship. Again, this is not about blaming yourself, right? Telling yourself the story like, okay, it makes sense why we broke up. It makes sense why things went like this. I can easily work on this on myself. This person, maybe if they're meant for me or not, can show up in a new way depending on who I'm even showing up as in relationships. But either way, this is not something to feel scared about. This is not something to look at like I'm doomed. And especially when it comes to breakups, we think, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna find that person that's just like them, or I'm not gonna find love, or I'm not good enough. This is where you need to have inner dialogue, and this connects to a new story. When you start to witness thoughts that are negative, that are not helpful for your evolution, your journey outside of this low point, you need to combat it with a new thought, a new story. So if you're saying to yourself, let's say you're going through a breakup, like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough, and I'm not pretty enough, and I'm just not whatever. Okay, right when you witness that thought or that story, what is a new story that you're going to tell yourself that is believable? Because I really would like you to believe this story, but that is going to make you feel a little bit more positive about the situation and not so doomed. Reminding yourself of your worth, how amazing you are, and even if you did make a mistake, or maybe you were people pleasing, or you did show up a certain way, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that things can't change, that people can't change. Even let's say for job opportunities, let's say, you did an interview and it didn't really go that well. Now you're blaming yourself. You don't need to blame yourself for it. You need to see, okay, what can I do next time to not feel maybe so nervous? But realistically, just because I was nervous does not mean that I'm not a good candidate. Does not mean that I don't deserve a job. Does not mean that I'm not worthy of having a high-paying job, or just to be in this industry just because I don't know all the answers. It is gonna be up to you to start to tell yourself the more favorable story. And one of my friends, I was talking to her about this last night actually, and she was like, well, what if I don't really believe the story? And I was telling her, well, there's a million different stories you can tell yourself that are better than the one that you're telling yourself. So find one that feels at least a little bit better. In this situation, we were talking about how, okay, well, like, what if a guy that you really like watches your stories, but he doesn't text you back? And then you get really triggered by that because you're like, wow, he's watching my stories, but he's not texting me back. And then we were talking about how, well, the story naturally that you're gonna tell yourself is like, he's ignoring me, he doesn't want me, he doesn't love me. Or you could tell yourself the story of, okay, he has not either seen your message or he's going to respond to you when he has enough time, and he's immersed in his own world and he's on his social media platform and you so happen to be a part of it, and he's looked at that story knowing that you're gonna see it. So it's not like a disrespectful thing. It's, I've looked at your story and I'm going to talk to you when I have the chance. But of course, we make meaning out of everything. We're like, no, it's disrespectful. He knows exactly what he's doing and he doesn't give an F about da-da-da. And listen, I don't even care if that is actually the reason. And even if that was the reason, then we don't want to talk to a disrespectful guy. So then why are we even thinking about this disrespectful guy, and why is he in our phone anyways? But why are we telling ourselves that story when it's not helpful for us? How does that make any sense? How are you making the situation better for yourself by you telling yourself that he's specifically ignoring me? By the way, you actually don't know that to be true. Now, you could also say, well, I don't know that your story is true in that he's actually like, he likes me, he just, he's immersed in his own life and he's gonna get back to me. Doesn't matter. What we need to focus on in the moment that we are triggered and when we want to go into the negative spiral is to think, what can I tell myself in this specific moment that is going to get me from right now to, let's say, the end of the night or the next day? So this is another thing that we were talking about. She was like, well, it's hard for me to tell myself that he still cares about me and he's going to message me, because I'm thinking, well, what if he actually doesn't text me tomorrow, and then what? It doesn't matter. We're focusing on right now. Stop worrying about things that are not in front of your face right now, please. When it comes to like getting out of a rut and a very low point, and trust me, I've been in very, 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 very low points, way worse than any of the things that I'm even really talking about now. When you're trying to get out of a low point, you don't think about tomorrow or the next day or 5-10 years. You know why? That's going to create more anxiety within you, because you're going to start to think about, well, then what am I going to do then when I don't get the text back? Or what am I going to do then in 3 months when I don't have the money because I didn't get a job? Let's not think about it. Let's not trigger ourselves more. What can I tell myself that is favorable, that is going to help me be more expansive and look at the world as if it's not happening to me, but it's happening for me? Another thing I think is helpful as you're getting yourself out of a low point is to find people, whether that's YouTubers, podcasters, if you're reading books, and I'm going to talk about actual people in your real life, but just things that you naturally engage in on a day-to-day basis, like especially on social media, even when it comes to music. Make sure that you are infiltrating your mind with positivity. You are infiltrating your mind with people who have good beliefs about whatever it is that you're going through. If you're going through a tough time when it comes to jobs, or when it comes to relationships, or when it comes to yourself or your health, you want to find the people who are going to speak positivity instead of speak negativity. So stop watching people who are complaining and confirming to you the story that you hold about yourself, which is usually a low self-worth story. I'll give you a little bit of an example, not really, but okay, when let's say you're, again, let's bring that back to like the stories guy, or he's not watching my stories in this way, and then you go onto TikTok and then you start to look for girls who are talking about, this is the reason why he's not talking to you, or this is the reason why he's not watching your stories, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and if he's watching your stories but he's not texting you, or if he's liking your stuff, that doesn't mean anything, da-da-da. You need to recognize how some of the content that you are watching is really just creating more of a spiral for you, making you feel more like shit, making you feel more low about yourself. This is not about being absolutely delusional, okay? It's not also telling yourself the worst possible negative outcome, like going online and listening to people saying men are trash and this is the reason why, da 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 da. Stop doing that to yourself. Stop doing that to yourself. And we were even talking too when it comes to, let's say you are checking your stories to see if somebody watched them or whatever. Stop checking your stories. Stop triggering yourself. The only person who is doing that to yourself is you. Stop doing behaviors that are going to trigger you. So really take inventory of the things that you're doing, the things that you're watching, the music that you're listening to, the people that you're talking to, the conversations that you're having, the whatever it is that is going to elicit more of the feeling that you're trying to get out of. Even when it comes to, let's say, drinking or doing, activities that you know, for the short term might give you a little bit of relief, but for the long term, it's probably not going to be helpful, stop doing it. Like, and listen, I know that there's like a balance, right? You want to go with your friends and maybe have a drink and let loose, sure. But let's say for me, I really don't drink a lot. Like, it's very rare that I drink, but I remember when I used to be more in this energy of like caring about if a guy liked my picture or my story, whatever, like early 20s. And also I would go out and go to clubs and drink with my friends whenever. And I really didn't even love to club and drink with my friends like that. But I was doing it for many reasons that I shouldn't even been doing it. Doesn't really matter. But I realized that especially if I was hyper-focused on a guy, let's say, or I was really disappointed in my life, or I was depressed about something, if I went out and I drank, in the moment, maybe it would make me feel good, but the next day I would be so incredibly either miserable, so depressed, so sad, because not only did I just use this thing just to escape, this thing actually creates a lot of actual physiological responses of depression or sadness, whatever it is. So it's just not gonna help you. It's gonna make you feel like more crap about yourself, whether that the alcohol makes you depressed or the behaviors in which you take after going out, let's say being hungover and now you're eating like crap and you're not going on your routine and you're not moving your body, you're not having healthy connections with people, you're going out and you're talking to guys who are just like not gonna be the ones for you and it triggers you. Stop doing behaviors that are going to really spiral you. And listen, I know that it can be difficult to not do this, but I think what actually does help is when you're feeling the urge to want to go do something that's not going to be helpful for you, emotionally release, let it out, cry, stop running away from yourself. But just be careful that you're not using YouTubers or podcasters in a way where you can't now go out and live your life without feeling like you need to have somebody in your ear, let's say even me, tell you that it's going to be okay. You have to really start to cultivate that voice within yourself when you're going out and you witness yourself going to the negative, or you know, you're feeling like you're low again. It's okay that you feel low. It's totally fine, but it's just about witnessing these feelings and the emotions, allowing yourself to be with your little inner child that most likely is the one that's triggered right now, and tell yourself in the moment, it's okay, this will pass, but it's okay that it's here right now. I'm gonna be okay. Telling yourself a new story in the moment is gonna be so crucial. And what you will find is as you every day to day, you move through this, the stories, the emotions are going to lessen down because you're really just honestly holding your inner child's hand through it all instead of trying to suppress by completely ignoring, by demonizing emotions, by running away and doing behaviors that don't actually help but hurt you. Two people that I think are really helpful when it comes to relationships, and this might not really resonate with you at all, and that's fine, but I'm only saying this because I think that maybe, I don't know, I think in life right now, there's a lot of people who are going through like relationship stuff, self-concept stuff. Dylan James is really good. Go to his videos where it says live. He has a lot of good like mindset work videos, especially when it comes to relationships. Kim Velez is another really good one when it comes to relationships. But I really just like these two creators because they coach you from a way of really bringing your attention back to yourself. And this is really pertains to relationships though. Really bringing your attention and your love and your confidence back to yourself when maybe you have lost it in relationships, or you're being triggered because you actually don't have a good self-concept. You don't believe that you're worthy of X, Y, and Z, or you just don't look at yourself like you're amazing. So I think those two channels could be very helpful. Also, her name is Margarita. I don't know how to say her last name. She's really good if you have anxious attachments, if you struggle with dating, and she talks about feminine energy a lot. Those are really good creators to watch. All right, guys, I am back. I am done getting ready. I could not continue to talk and get ready at the same time. You guys know that. So just if you were wondering, all I did was put some liquid eyeliner on my eyes, mascara, brush up my eyebrows, and put some highlighter on, and that's it. I also use this Fresh Beauty Sugar Lip Treatment. Again, all my favorite products will be linked. You might be wondering why I am getting ready right now, and I am going to an event and I will be vlogging. So if you're wondering like where I'm going to a Shoppers Beauty event. Yesterday, I had went on a podcast, which I don't know when it's going to be live, but when it is, I will definitely have it in the description of this video. The last question she had asked me was, lately in your life, how have you gone deeper? I think what she means by going deeper is just doing more work either on yourself or doing the things that you know that you need to. Like, how are you going deeper into your own self-growth journey? And for me, I said to connect with people. And I said that especially in this interview yesterday because that is one of the most crucial things that you are going to need to do on your journey of getting out of a low place, is connecting with people and getting yourself out of the house, out of your normal routine that might not be even helping you at this moment. And listen, I have always been a very big introvert. I can regulate my emotions, I can give myself a lot of very sound, logical advice. I know the lessons that I need to learn when I'm going through them. I've gone through many lows in my life, hard times where I've had to get out of it myself. But I started to realize that me connecting with people, it wasn't from this place of like, let me go hang out with my friends so that I can ignore what's going on in my own life. But it's really just showing myself that there's so much life to live. There's so many amazing people here that are going to support me, even if you don't feel like you have support. It's like you're going outside of your low energetic state that you're in right now and experiencing something new. And what that thing will be that you experience, whether that's a person, a place, or a thing, or a realization, you will not know until you actually get out of your house and go and do something. And the feeling that you feel once you get yourself out of your bed or get yourself out of this spiral that you're continuing to be in, and finally just letting go just for a moment in time, if that's all you can do, just for a moment, letting go of you ruminating on a breakup or you ruminating on a crappy situation, and going to a workout or going to the cafe or going to talk to friends, whether it's about the situation or not, you will slowly start to feel a little bit more confident within yourself and your life. And it's almost like you will actually start to see a little bit of light at the end of this dark tunnel that you are in. This brings me back to what I was saying about be careful with you watching podcasters, YouTubers, reading all these books, whatever, getting really immersed in content that might be self-soothing, might help you soothe in the moment, which is definitely fine. But there's going to be a point where you have to stop watching videos and stop getting affirmations from people and stop like thinking about the situation so much, even if it's like positive videos that are helping you through a hard time, right? But even you watching videos that are affirming to you that you are going through a hard time is actually just reminding you of how much you are going through a hard time. And it's almost like it's creating this situation that's even bigger. So you have to really be careful. And what helps that is for you to turn off the TV for once, turn off the podcast, turn off the whatever, and go and put your attention somewhere else for a moment and continue to do that back and forth, back and forth. It's not going to be perfect, especially when you're really going through it. There might be a lot of times where you're going to really need to watch people and listen to positive affirmations, doing a lot of journaling. But then you really want to, throughout your day, bring yourself out of that for a moment and experience a different energetic state, which is working on yourself, connecting with friends. Even if you are listening to podcasts or content, it has nothing to do with the thing that you're going through right now. It's no longer you hyper focusing on this situation. You want to show yourself that there is life outside of this low situation and that you can still live your life even as you're going through these things. And like for me personally, I made sure when I started going through the things that I was going through in the past few weeks to tell my friends that I was going through that. I made it very clear how I was feeling, what I was feeling, so that they could know and so that they can support me more. And listen, people are not going to be able to support you if you do not tell them what you're going through. And now it depends on the level of friendships that you have and how much you want to get into it. You don't have to even get into things very deeply. You just have to let them know like, hey, I'm going through a harder time right now. And if they're good friends, they will be there for you. I also made sure to start making plans with my friends. And this is outside of trying to avoid the situation. It's not about running away from the situation. It's about showing myself that there is life outside of this thing that I am stressing about, that I am sad about. Okay, sorry, I had to move because they're fixing the doors outside and they're so loud. And also just ignore the clothes. I still don't know if I'm gonna wear this or not. I've not worn this shirt like ever, so I'm like, you should probably wear it. Anyways, but back to what we were saying. I think tapping into this energy of saying yes without any real attachment to the outcome is very good in this phase of your healing, really, because this is kind of what it is, right? It's saying yes to the people who are asking to see you. It's saying yes to the new workout class, and say yes from this place of exploration. It doesn't have to be this thing that's gonna make you better or fix you, or let's say you're even saying yes to go on a date. It doesn't need to be anything. This person doesn't need to be your boyfriend, whatever. It's just about going out and showing yourself that there's life outside of this. Another thing that has helped me is when it comes to my music, when it comes to my content, because obviously we still listen to music, we still listen to podcasts, whatever it is that we do, we still read books. I just try and dive into a new topic, like change up the energy, change up the things that you're learning, something that also is not going to probably trigger you. Because, you know, especially when we're talking about music, usually music elicits some sort of feeling. So whether that be a relationship or memories, or, you know, the life that you thought that you're going to have, and then like things got all crazy. So then all of this music just reminds you of a certain time. Get a new playlist, change up that content. And one thing I will say is, if you have not already, go watch my video on the step-by-step guide on how to become a new version of you this season. I think that would be a really good video for you in the moments where you're low right now. And listen, guys, this is a time where you get to reinvent yourself, okay? So let's bring it back to the fact that there is a lesson here to be learned. Okay, understand that we've released our emotions and there's a lesson to be learned, and we're making sure that we're not triggering ourselves all the time so we can kind of move energetically out of this state. This is a great time for us to revisit goals, or add more goals, create new goals for ourselves, really transform our lives, transform our bodies, transform our physical state, our mental state, our everything. Creating new mood boards, thinking about the future. Outside of all of this, again, it is gonna be up to us. We have the choice, and I know it feels hard, but we have the choice to really focus in on what it is that we really want. So that video will definitely help you if you really wanna energetically change a lot in your life. And also, I do have a podcast, the Glow Up Secrets podcast, which is on YouTube and Spotify and Apple if you need more content like this. For me personally right now, the stage that I'm in this healing journey right now that I'm going through is very much so getting myself out of this rut by energetically moving myself, getting back into my routines, going to meet my friends, going to events, getting myself immersed in different topics outside of the sadness or the whatever I was feeling. And I feel so much better. There is so much more light that I'm starting to slowly see come into my life because I have decided to take that action. So I think it's so important that you do that, and that is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to go to the Shoppers Beauty event, which I've gone before, and it's so amazing. They give us so many products, so we're definitely going to have to do a haul when I come back. But I'm going to take my own advice and stop talking about being sad, because we have the choice to not feel sad. Like sometimes, hold on, we got to do a little rant here. Sometimes you seriously just need to look in the mirror or say out loud, like, Alicia, you are choosing right now to feel like this and to feel sad, and you actually do not need to feel this sad right now. You don't need to. You can put your energy towards something else. It is difficult, yes, but you can do it. And that's what I'm gonna do. I choose to feel better today. I choose to wake up and feel good about my day. I choose when I have a negative emotion or a negative thought to let that pass freely. I just let it go. I see it and I let it go. I choose to become aware of when my mind wants to go to the negative story and wants to recreate this old pattern that got me there in the first place, the crappy situation in the first place, to bring it somewhere better. And one last thing I will say, in these moments where I find myself like wanting to go to the negative and I have to pull myself back, I like to kind of give myself a mental gratitude list. So like sometimes it's great to tell yourself a new story, but sometimes it's good to just tell yourself like 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for. So when I wake up in the morning, even in my mind, right, especially when I'm going through something really deep and I haven't even touched my journal yet, in the morning, I just wake up and I just say, I'm so grateful for this apartment. I'm so grateful for my job. I'm so grateful for my health. I'm so grateful for my friends. I have so much to look for. Like you really want to cultivate that energy to get yourself up and out, because listen, there's more life to live than what is going on in your life. It is just a small fraction, even though it feels like the entire piece. I promise you, it's a small little lesson. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day. I didn't do a good job at vlogging last night, so I don't even know how many clips that I got. Honestly, there was not much to vlog because it was just a Shoppers of Beauty event where we went, like a lot of content creators, influencers got invited. You go and see all different types of beauty counters that are gonna be at Shoppers, or like products that are gonna be available in Shoppers, and they give you all of these samples and all of these great products, and then you just mix and mingle. I saw my management team there. I went with my friend Tess. It was a great time. And I did get a huge bag. Okay, this event to the influencers in the content creator space is like Christmas. Every time we get invited, it's like you go and you get what you need to get. I got this huge entire bag filled with products and stuff. And I'm thinking like, I can show you guys it, but let's quickly talk about a few more things about getting yourself up and out of this low point in your life, because maybe you're not interested in that. Like, I totally get that. I also am getting ready just a little tiny bit. I'm just gonna do my eyebrows and like wake myself up. I just got out of the shower, went to the gym, had a good morning. I need to film a few things. But something that I was thinking about when it came to a healing journey is like, people think when you, let's say you're going through a low point and then you start implementing some of my tips that I've given you, that you're just going to emotionally release, and then you're gonna find the lesson, and then you're going to stop triggering yourself, and then your feelings are gonna dissipate, and then you're finally gonna feel good. And although that is what happens, healing is not linear, okay? So today I feel pretty good, but there's still thoughts in my head about the thing that I have been going through. Now, it is not as emotionally charged as it once was when I was going through it like 2 weeks ago. So for me, if I'm feeling like it's really weighing on me and I'm really getting in my head about the situation, I will go back and I will emotionally release. I will go back and watch people who get my mind right if I find myself going into that spiral. I will make sure to look at my week and say, am I seeing my friends in a few days? Like, what do I have going on this weekend? Today is Thursday. So it's like, what do I have going on this weekend to really solidify this new version of me, the one that's not in this low place? So I'm kind of just like going back. Honestly, healing to me is very cyclical. This is honestly how I look at a healing journey, okay? So we start in the middle. It's very low, it's very hard, and then we slowly get out of it, right? But as you go around the circle, you're still kind of passing that, I know you can't really see it, but you're still passing the original low point. So there might be days that you're in this circle, but it doesn't feel as emotionally charged because you're not right down in the center of the lowest point of your healing journey. And the more times that you go around and around, again, you're not feeling as low. You might pass something where you need to still talk about that low situation. You might need to look back at it, or you might have a thought that, you know, reminds you of this low point because you've passed around it again, but it doesn't hurt as bad. You're not as triggered as much. You can really start to see maybe more of that wisdom the more you get out of this spiral, to the point where you're no longer in this spiral and it's not really a thing. And there might just be times where you backtrack your steps and you go back right down to the low point. Now, what is going to bring you back down to that low point again? You're reversing that little spiral, is the things that trigger you in your life. Is you not taking certain actions to create an environment in which you get out of this. So it is so important that you do start to implement these specific tips over and over and over and over again until you get out, and stop looking at it as, okay, I'm gonna do this one time and then my life is gonna be good. Or don't expect that the next day you're going to be solid, because I think that when you have this huge high expectation when it comes to getting out of low points, what will happen when you do inevitably feel those emotions and those triggers, you will feel like you're failing, and then you're going to be more susceptible to doing behaviors that you once did before, which is gonna perpetuate the same thing that you were in, and then you're gonna continue to be in this. And this is how people stay stuck for very long in their lives. I have seen it. I have lived with people who are still stuck to this day. Not actually, I don't live with them now, but like, I have gone through it myself. I've seen it over and over with people. So it's really about not giving up on you. Do not give up on you. Look at the situation for what it is, very logical as much as you can, which is, there is a lesson here. This does not have to be my entire truth. I have the power to not let this low point in my life or whatever's going on dictate my entire day or my entire future. I don't have to ignore it. I'm going to emotionally release. I'm going to build a routine and a life that helps me through this time. But this doesn't need to be my end all. This doesn't need to be the end of my story right now. I feel like sometimes, let's bring it back to relationships, you know, let's say you're going through a breakup, you think that it's like the end of your love story. It's not the end of your love story. If anything, you are actually getting closer and closer and closer to what it is you specifically want in your life. That is how I look at everything. When something doesn't work out relationship-wise, when something doesn't work out job-wise, when, you know, I missed some opportunity that I thought that I missed, or, you know, miscommunication had happened, or, you know, I just didn't jump on this, whatever. This is simply for me to look and learn the lesson that is from this thing, become a new version of me because of the lesson that I have learned. Let's say no longer being a people pleaser, and no longer being a people pleaser is now going to get me even better relationships, or even better opportunities, or even better whatever it is that I clearly needed in my life that I was not getting because I wasn't standing in my worth. And I think something you really have to remind yourself of is there is no way out but through. So you might as well do it. You might as well acknowledge what you're going through. You might as well emotionally release. You might as well sit down and do that journal practice. You might as well go to the gym even if you don't feel like going to the gym because you think that you're gonna be sad at the gym, or the gym's not gonna make you feel happy. It's not about if the gym is gonna make you happy, or if you going out to see your friends are gonna make you happy. It's about getting yourself out of this energetic state. Go to the gym even if you're gonna be crying, at least you're at the gym, okay? Go out with your friends, even though maybe you have these negative thoughts popping up and you're still not feeling the best. Go anyways. That is much better than you staying at home and perpetuating this story. And again, sometimes we really do give so much energy and time to things that do not need as much time and energy as we give them, truly. And I get it, right? There's things that you do, you're gonna give your time and energy because you're sad, or you're emotional, or you're confused, or you're whatever. But it's like, understand, the more energy you give something, the more it's going to grow, okay? It is going to grow. And the same thing is true with anything good in your life. The more times you focus on what you do want in your life, the more times you take care of yourself, the more times you keep continuously showing up, the more that will become your reality. It is the same with anything. So why is it that we are putting so much of our time and our attention and our energy on things that literally we don't even want to experience? Like, you have to think about that. The thing that's happening right now, you don't even want to experience it. So why is it that you decide to give all of yourself to this thing? You know? And I can guarantee you, this is probably a lesson that you need to learn with many things in your life. You're giving, and you're not even getting anything back. So what are you doing? What is it? Literally, what is it? Anyways, and you know what? Something that I've been able to show myself consistently, which really helps me through these journeys, and I know it can be difficult if you haven't really gone through this, or you can't have this mindset, so maybe I will just tell you that, like, you are not going to be immune to negative emotion or shitty things happening in your life. And as much as that you might start to feel like you're having some like existential crisis by hearing that, because it's like, oh my God, I'm doomed. But there's something about that that's actually quite empowering to me, because it's just like, look, there's gonna just be times where life is not the best, but that's fine, because that's life, that's normal, right? It's like, I think when things don't work out in our lives, it's because we have painted this picture in which things are not supposed to happen that are bad in our lives. Like, you know, everything's supposed to work out exactly the way they are, and that's not how life works. This is not to get down on life and, you know, lose your zest for life. But the way that I like to look at it is, when things are not going in my life, it's simply just a lesson. It's simply just the universe trying to rearrange me to get me to exactly where I want, to get me to my desires. You know why? You know why I believe that? Because I don't believe we come here to just suffer. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking logical sense why you come here and your relationships don't work out, or money is just, everything's hard. No, let's learn the lesson. And the reason why I know this as well is because I have gone through so much that every single time I look at it like this, like a lesson, I find the lesson, I readjust myself, I get myself out, and I always needed to go through that thing in order to get to what I wanted in my life. I was never gonna get the money or the relationship or the friendships or the life that I had without going through that low point. It had to be done. And the reason why I had to go through that low point is because there was a lesson that I needed to learn about myself. And that is why I was even in that low point. Again, this is not to always blame ourselves. This is how I think about it sometimes too, is, you know, when we're born, we get this deck of cards, right? we get parents, we get environments, we get socioeconomic status, which is, I mean, like, you know, how much money you have, where you live, whatever. Some are great, some are not so great. And those are just given to us. Like, we don't blame ourselves for that. That's just what it is. But it's like, okay, now when I see the deck of cards that I have, how can I transform them? How can I up level them? How can I accept them? How can I work with them so that I can play this deck of cards the best I ever can? Because guess what? You have one life, okay? This is one game. So make it a good game, okay? That's what I'm here to do. I ain't trying to lose. That's all I know. I am not trying to lose. So anyways, I think that's gonna be really it for like the advice for this video of picking yourself up. Like, just give yourself time, give yourself compassion, give yourself the ability to just move through this cyclically, and you know, give yourself a week even. Sometimes I like to give myself like not long timelines, but you know, sometimes we're like, oh my God, this is gonna be such a hard thing to go through in this time, and like, when is it gonna end? When is it gonna end? Give yourself like a week or two just to go through the process of healing, and then you can kind of sit here and think about where you're going to be going long term in like a week. Like, just give yourself a week. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to like be better or like get picked up from this. Give yourself a week to go through things, and the week that I'm talking about is you picking yourself back up, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be perfect, right? Because I think sometimes, for me at least, when I go through things, sometimes I'm like, okay, like tomorrow I need to feel better. But it's like, no, just give yourself a week. And honestly, we don't even realize how not that much time we actually need, and then we end up feeling better. Like, I have been going through a lot of personal things in my life, and it hasn't even been that long. Like, I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, it's only been like a week, and I'm actually so much better now. But at first, when I was thinking about it, I'm like thinking about the month and like, oh my God, it's gonna be so hard and this, that. I mean, I didn't really think about that because I knew that I can give myself the tools and techniques to get through things, but still, you just naturally think like that. But then, you know, the end of the week and I'm feeling literally so much better. I'm feeling so freaking much better. But you know why I'm feeling better? It's not even just that timeline thing, just give yourself a week, whatever. It's the lessons. It's the getting out even when I don't feel like it. It's just getting up and not giving up on yourself and just telling yourself there's gonna be light. There's not light right now, you don't see it, you don't feel it, and that's fine, but there's gonna be light, and you just need to know that. And if you can't tell yourself that, then you need to listen to people who are gonna tell you that and nothing else. Stop listening to people who are not telling you these things and confirming to you the shitty version of your life that you don't even want. It makes no sense. So on a lighter note of not reminding myself of this low point, because this low point does not take over my entire life, like I said, I went to a beauty event and they gave us so much freaking product. Like, you know what I'm gonna need to start doing is giveaways, or I don't know. I'm also just thinking because, well, we're only in September. I don't know why the hell I'm thinking about Christmas, but I mean, I am kind of. And I think as a content creator, like, we have to look at things much farther in advance. But I'm thinking I need to make some like gift baskets or something, because I am getting to a point where I have way too many, like too much product. I would love to try it. I would love to use them, and they're amazing products. This is the thing. Like, I'm trying to keep it all, to be honest, but I just can't. Like, I literally just cannot. So I'm just thinking like I might need to do some sort of giveaway and like really pick out pieces that make sense for people and to do something. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking that because we got a huge bag of products. A lot of them I really want to use. There are a lot of things that I can definitely use. We got like self tanners, we got perfumes, we got a bunch of different makeup products. There was so many brands there. I got freaking YSL perfume and Burberry perfume. Like, can we just take that in? Although last year we got Prada as well. I didn't really love the Prada one, but we got two designer, I guess that's designer. Designer perfumes, which is literally insane. I was also thinking of, like, I mean, I obviously show a lot of my life on YouTube, and I will continue to do that in a way that works for you guys and for me. And then I obviously have my podcast where it's definitely a different vibe, but I don't even know how to explain it. I'd have to go into a whole detail about that. But I was also thinking, even on my TikTok, I kind of want to start showing the behind the scenes of me being a content creator in a way. So for instance, getting ready to film my podcast episodes, like how I do it, how I set things up, what I'm talking about and why I'm talking about this before I actually sit down and then film the podcast. Like behind the scenes of things like that. I think also a lot of people, like, they just want to know when it comes to events or becoming content creators or sharing your message or doing whatever, like how to do that. So I just feel like maybe I'm gonna start doing some more of that content. I don't know. Let me know if that's of interest to you guys on TikTok more though. I know you guys probably don't scroll on TikTok too much. I feel like the YouTube and the podcast girlies are absolutely different than the TikTok girlies. Although there's some overlap. Listen, I'm not throwing any shade, okay? I just think that there's two different types of people for sure. And I'm on the long form. That's why I switched, because I was like, I need to talk for way longer than what I'm talking for on TikTok, but it's also my job to be on social media, and I do not need to be on TikTok. I don't need to be on every platform, but I feel like I'm starting to get a hang of things again. And it's crazy because TikTok was my original platform that I grew on. And then I was like, oh, you know, it makes more sense for me to talk long form. And that's why I went to podcasts and YouTube. But let's quickly get into this haul, I guess, if you guys are any sort of interested in this. I'm gonna try and do this quickly because this is insane. I'm not gonna talk about it for too long, but you guys know I talk. I got this EVO Skin First Cleanse or Cleanser. By the way, if you guys have tried any of these products that I'm going to say, can you please let me know what one you like? I got this Jason Wu palette, Desert Rose. It has like browns and shimmery colors, which that's actually really cute. I feel like I should use that. I got this Chlorine. I literally don't know how to say any of these words, these brands. So if I'm butchering them, I am, basically. There was one more that she had given me. I don't even know where it is right now. But this is for hair growth. So hair strengthening serum. I'm very much so in my hair growth era right now, especially as I go into the winter seasons. Like I need to make sure that I'm on, and my shower routine is coming out. So you guys will see that. I got Bondi Sands Nourishing Gel Cleanser with their, they gave me a mitt and they gave me self tanner, which is great because I do use I don't really use it too much anymore, but I like to use it at least like once or twice in the wintertime just to kind of keep the glow. I got this Coco and Eve Nourishing Hair Mask, which is great because I'm a mask girly. You're gonna see in my shower routine. I got this Function of Beauty Mousse, which I'm actually excited to use because I actually use mousse in my natural hair. I use it. I got Coco and Eve, another bronzing thing, which I guess I'm gonna be in my tanned era. I got dry shampoo, which I don't really ever use, and I have a lot of it, but I guess we'll see. I got this Pacifica Serum Peptides Strawberry Oil and Flowers. It's vegan, it's cruelty free. I remember those people who were talking about it. They're founded in LA and they're all like very clean beauty. I got this, my favorite brand, one of my favorite brands that I actually found out from this same event last year is SVR. I think you guys probably have heard me talk about it before. Where's the other products? Oh my God. Okay, I don't know where it is right now, but I got their Matte and Pore. This is some sort of serum, I think, that I put on. Visibly reduces spots, shine, and pores, which I'm actually excited for because I don't have the biggest pores, but I don't know. I feel like that could help because I also don't like to use a lot of foundation or makeup. I got this nude stick kit with a daily moisturizer, a micro peel, and a face cleanser, and then something else that's in here. I do not know what this is. And they also gave me samples of their body butter, which I smelled there. It smelled so good. And the girl who founded Nude Sticks, she was there. I have no idea who she really is, but my friend was there and she's like, how do you not know that girl? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm out of the loop. This is a toner. So I'll definitely have to try that. I gotta do more self-care. Guys, if my channel turns into a self-care channel, you will know why. Because what the hell am I supposed to do? I got these La Roche Posay. I don't know. You guys know, I'm sure. This brand. This brand, I have actually a few of their products. I use their sunscreen. This is a B5 serum and a vitamin C serum, which I like vitamin C. Vitamin C really brightens up your skin, at least for me. It is so good. Oh, and they gave me a daily cream as well. Also, with the Function of Beauty mousse, they were talking about how they sell these little pods, and you can add up to 3 pods, and it depends on like what pod you get, but this one's anti-frizz. So you pour it in there, and then now this product is not only just a mousse, but it's specifically for anti-frizz, or like specifically for curly hair or like whatever. So I'm actually very excited to see. This is the Nude Stick cream sample, which I wish they just gave a whole thing because I would have loved that. I'm not complaining, but I just really wanted it. I got Drunk Elephant Eau Bloss Rosy Drops this here. I heard this is like very, like this is in right now. Same with the other drops, but they were literally like sold out of it. So they weren't even handing those out, but that's fine because I wanted this because I like the blush. Obsessed. So we'll see. I got e.l.f. Halo Glow blush as well. I also realized I'm not really showing you guys them. I'm just talking about it. So sorry if you are really not seeing this. Oh, the other thing that I got from SVR, which is like one of my favorite skincare brand, and it's this hyaluronic acid and glycerin hydration intense moisture light cream. They are made in France, and they're like hypoallergenic. They're very clean, natural, like genuinely a very, very, very good brand. So if you're interested in this brand, I would highly suggest getting the cream biotic that they have. It's so good, but this is what it's like in here. I'm obviously gonna try that and let you guys know. I would suggest following me on Instagram if you're interested in seeing any of this kind of stuff, because genuinely, that's where I post all of my things. Okay, so let me hurry up here. This is ridiculous. What is this? I don't even know what brand this is from. Magnetica Magic Nudies and Matte. Oh, it's from Nude Sticks. Revlon Color Stay Suede Ink. And they were explaining all of these products and like the new formulas, by the way. They didn't just like hand these out. Like they were telling us like the new things and why they're whatever. I just remember her saying like this is like a matte stain or whatever, but it's really hydrating. Like it's super hydrating. I got this Winxie Luxe Unibrow pencil, and I actually used their blushes, and I used it, or this is it actually right here. And I have it on my face right now, so maybe I'll try that. I don't use too much of a brow filler anymore the way that I used to back in the day. I got these, I'm excited to use these actually, Glow Boosting Moisturizer Vitamin C from the Body Shop, and it's like this citrus smell. And then I also got the Vitamin C Glow Serum. I'm excited, definitely excited. Oh my gosh, definitely excited to try that. I got Benefit Bye Bye Pore, or a pore primer. I'm sure you guys know more than I do. Winxie Luxe lip balm, and this smells like espresso coffee. I smelled it there. It smells so good. I got the Kylie Jenner High Gloss. I'm pretty sure they said that it was coming out this week or something, so it's quite new. So I definitely want to try that because I like a gloss. I like a good gloss. And also, what else did I get from? I think this is from Benefit as well. Benefit mascara. We'll see. Because, listen, I ride or die for the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara, and nobody has compared, so we'll see. We will see. Okay, and the best for last, the best for freaking last, because I just cannot. So I got this YSL High perfume, and this is essentially for men and women. I'm not gonna explain the smell because I would be horrible at that, but it smells so good. It just smells like for men and women. And then I also got the Burberry Goddess. I don't know what else, but I did smell it at the event, and it smells very like vanilla-y, and there was some floral in it. What else? I don't really know. I guess it doesn't really say specifically here, but if you were to look that up, you can. But I'll obviously be trying these, and you'll hear if I really, really like them by seeing, or not really hearing. Well, you'll hear in my videos, but you'll also see it on my Instagram. So, yeah, I have a lot of things here, and I'm so grateful for all of this stuff. I just think that it's insane that I'm just given all of these things that I used to always either spend my money on or want so badly, and this is something I'm going to talk about on TikTok. I learned that you almost have to let go of wanting this stuff, and then that's when it all comes. And that's how it's happened to me for a long time with many things in my life, not just like PR stuff, but money specifically, or even relationships or anything really. And it's not about letting go and just sitting around and waiting, but it's like, let me not focus on the material, like the money or I get it. You have to focus on money in life, but let me stop hyper focusing on the money, and instead let me focus on what it is that I came here to do, which was, yes, okay, a byproduct of what I came here to do is to make money, or a byproduct of what I do is like getting these products, but what is it that I'm doing? Well, I'm providing value, I'm creating content, I'm going out there and I'm working, I'm living my life, I'm doing things in society. And then I am gonna be gifted, rewarded for my work. And so if I believe that, if I know that, you know, what I put out is valuable and what I put out is helping people, then I should believe that I'm gonna get all the things that I ever wanted. And that's how I look at things. And anytime that I'm hyper focusing on money or hyper focusing on wanting something super, super badly, it's not a bad thing, but it's just, I kind of check in and I say, well, what is this belief here? You obviously don't believe that the money is coming, because if you believe the money is coming, you wouldn't have such a hyper focus on, I need to do this to get the money. No, do things that work for you, that are aligned to you, and the money will come. And I say that lightly because I don't like really saying that, because I know it can drive people into being like, oh, okay, so then what do I do? Just sit around. No. You take action. You take action. When we're talking about manifesting over here, we take action. We don't just sit here and dream about a life in which that we have everything that we want and don't do anything. No. You find your value and you put yourself out there in the world, and the world will bring things back to you in tenfold, and you don't have to try so hard. So that's going to be it for today's episode. We are not on the podcast right now. Today's YouTube video. If you like this episode, am I okay? I'm so tired right now. If you like this video, please let me know. Please let me know what you want to see more of on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast channel as well, the Glow Up Secrets podcast, or you can listen on Spotify and Apple. And yeah, just remember, this too shall pass. What you're going through right now, it's going to not only pass, not only are you going to get through it, but it doesn't need to be your entire focus. You have the choice to not let this thing take over your entire mind, your entire day, how you view life. Remember that you have a lot of power to make yourself feel better. But it's going to be up to you by doing the journaling, by getting yourself out there, by allowing the thoughts to come and go when they come, and not making such meaning out of things all the time and going into the stories that are not favorable to you. I promise you, you can do it. And if you need more of my content, then I'm here. Love you guys. Bye.